It's exciting for us.
You know what? I don't have anything to do with that. I'll take it any way I can get it, though.
The late game comebacks.
Well, it's, you know, if you look at the last 2-3 weeks, we've been giving them away in the last. I mean, we've lost probably half dozen games in the last 2 weeks where we've had leads going in the 7th, 8th inning and lost them. So, you know, they say the game, you know, comes. I don't like that saying. I just soon win them all. But we've got 2 good ones here against a very good ball club. And
you had to be really pleased with Fisher. I mean, he was facing the top batters in the league, and
yeah.
They weren't getting anything.
Well, they're not supposed to. He's supposed to be one of the top pitchers in the league. He pitched well. He's still a couple times he pulls the ball, but otherwise he's got good stuff. It's just the consistency that he's been able to throw it over.
And I noticed at Cochran, I'm looking at the statistics, oftentimes he has a bad first inning. He starts out kind of bad, but today he really did well all the way through.
Well, you know, what happened, yeah, and when you start looking at stats, you would think that, but what you have to remember is he's been a guy that we've taken in and out of the rotation. When we left him early in the year, he was tremendous for us, and he was on that regular rotation. And then we started taking him out. He'd miss a couple starts. And when you do that, it happens at every level. You don't have that good command early in a ball game, and it kind of got him into a little bit of trouble. He never said a word about it, but that's more our fault as an organization than it is his fault. That's just the way things happen sometimes. But he's been solid, other than what you're talking about. But I wouldn't say that was his fault.
I was down here checking out Chris Valaika and Devin, Mesoraco. What's your opinion of how they're doing?
Well, you know, Valaika he got off to a tremendous start, went to the big leagues and played very well up there for the big club. And he came back down and he really struggled when he came down. And it's taken him up until about the last couple of weeks he started swinging the bat. He hit a couple balls, absolutely crushed tonight. He had a big at bat late in the ball game for us. You know, that he's back to where he was early in the year. It's just unfortunate that, you know, especially young guys, they go to the big leagues and they come back and they just don't have that 100% focus. They physically put in their time, but sometimes mentally they're not really focused into their game because they're still thinking about the big leagues, thinking, all right, I've got there, I've been there, you know, I can do that again, and they lose that sharpness. Mesoraco has been solid all year. He's getting a little tired. He's running out of gas. I gave him another night off tonight. You know, that happens, especially with a young guy that mentally has had so much to learn here. And he's really progressed well mentally. Physically, he has a lot of tools, but his game calling, handling of pitchers and stuff like that has just gotten better and better the more he's played.
Do you think he's ready?
Well, I've probably got about 10 guys out there that are ready. Okay, so when you ask that question and I say, yes, he's ready, then I'm not saying he's the only one ready.
Yeah,
he could go up there and play. And I've said that, I've told Walt that before. It's not a matter of, you know, yeah, he's ready, but a lot of guys are ready. At that time, you know, when Walt asked me, Frasier the list was long. Yes, he's ready. He could go up there and play. Does he have to? No. Is there more he can learn here? Absolutely. He needs to play. And I'm not sure the Reds are in a position to put him in there catching every day. I don't think that would be a benefit to him. He needs to play. And as long as we have chances for him to play here, he'll play here. But is he ready to go up and play at the major league level? Yes, he is. Yes.
Good. And Francisco, that at bat he had. He took a 2-1 pitch.
Yep.
That I've seen him.
His at bats. I will tell you that since he's been back from the knee injury, I have never seen Juan Francisco play as well, offensively, defensively, base running, as focused as he is right now. He's playing very good baseball right now. He went down there to Arizona, worked very hard, got himself back into shape, I think ahead of schedule. And he's played very well since he's been back here, and tonight was no different.
Yeah, that was a good at bat.
Great at bat, and against a very tough pitcher.
Yeah.
Left-handed pitcher.
Left-handed pitcher with good.
In fact, I think all 3 of his hits tonight were off left-handers.
I have to check that, man. Yeah. The starting kid.
Yep, and I think the other one was against Tom. I think all 3 of them were against left-handers.
Wow. Yeah.
So he's playing very well.
And then Corky. when he came up in that situation, I knew he was going to work.
Oh, I knew he'd do something.
Yeah.
You always know Cartman's going to do something.
Yeah, and that's the guy that these kids learn from.
Well, of course, that's been a big thing. He hasn't got to play that much, but his knowledge of the game is why he's here. I mean, he still can play, but his knowledge is what these young guys need to learn.
Yeah, we kind of put him in that category of Crash Davis from the movie.
That's what he is, absolutely.
Can you talk about that eighth inning a little bit? Just Griffin starting it off, and then some of those at bats.
Well, I think it started out. Obviously, Griffin gets a lot of credit walking up, hitting the first pitch base hit. And then the at bats, the quality. You hear me talk all the time about quality at bats. I thought throughout the game we had some quality at bats, but we didn't put them back to back to back to back until the eighth inning, and it was against some of their better pitchers. I mean, they've got a very good team over there, but it was just it started with Griffin and absolutely great bunt by Negron, just the basics of the game, and Valaika has a great bat. It just started from there, but it all started with Griff getting on and leading off the inning.
One of Cochran's probably better nights of the season so far. How is he able to be effective tonight?
Well, I think he was effective because he and Teddy, again, Teddy Power does a great job making little adjustments with these pitchers, and he's just done it time after time after time. Cochran got off to a great start this year, and then we put him in a pin going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and he got out of his game a little bit. And he and Teddy made a little change after his last start in the bullpen in between his starts. And Cochran texted me that night and said, "Hey, I got it. I've got it." And Teddy told me when he got here, he said, "Hey, I think he's going to have a great game." And he went out and had a great game. So, just a small adjustment. That's all it takes.
And you got Reineke coming back tomorrow. What do you expect from him?
Well, I think Chad really has come back well from the injury. I've been very happy with him, and he's another guy that went to the big leagues and came back and really struggled. I mean, he had 4 or 5 games. In fact, we took him out of the rotation for a while, but he got himself back straightened out again, and right now he's on top of his game. His stuff's good, his command's good, and he's right on top of everything.
Great.